away speed that some of the other wide receivers in the league have.
How about this drive? So far, 82 yards to the Philadelphia 3. First and goal to go. Rosance turns and gives it to Rozier to about the 1 maybe. And he's shoved back. Rozier fighting for extra yardage in the middle of the pile, just went in over his own left guard and trying to wedge out some additional yardage to see where they spot it. It is inside the 1-yard line. What an impressive drive. Maybe one of the more impressive drives of the entire year in light of the circumstances and the opposition.
And a big play with Tom Rosance getting away from pressure and getting the ball down for a first down. It was 1st and 15. A play down to Flowers at the 19-yard line, which was a big play.
Rozier in behind Albright. Double tight end. 2nd down and goal. Rozier dives. And I'm waiting. No signal. No signal. He hit the goal line. I don't think they're going to give it to him, Jack.
No, but I'll tell you, he stretched that football up over the goal line or right to the goal line. And I don't think the officials saw it, but when he was down, he stretched it out right to the goal line. The official was saying he was a little bit short. And I'll tell you, I'm glad we have Mike Rozier in the game right now. I'm looking at the replay, and it looks like he stretches the ball out late. The official made the correct call. He stretched the ball out late when his knee had already touched down. 3rd down.
Nose of the football inches away from the goal line. 3rd down. But the Maulers got to be in 4-down territory. They aren't going to settle for 3 out of this. Here's Rozier diving.
Touchdown.
Touchdown, yes, a late call from the near side. And the crowd thought they had stopped him again, but Rozier went over the pile for the touchdown, and the Maulers have tied the Philadelphia Stars.
Sam, that was an outstanding drive by Tom Rosance, taking control of that football team. I think it's going to do a lot for his confidence moving as a football team against the Stars. And a big play was his quarterback scramble, getting away from pressure, and Rozier looking at the replay, Rozier got right to the goal line, and it's a close call, and the official, I think, made the correct call. He broke the play into the goal line, and it's a touchdown.
Eric Schubert will attempt to give the Maulers a lead. Swider holding the placement, the kick is up, and it is perfect. So the Pittsburgh Maulers lead the best team in the USFL, the Philadelphia Stars, with 4 minutes and 41 seconds left to play here in the second quarter. We'll be back in a moment. Are able to navigate 85 yards of artificial real estate here at the Vet in 15 plays, 7 minutes, 9-second drive, Jack.
And we ran the football effectively against Ira Albright, doing a good job of blocking for Rozier and William Miller. And Tom Rosance doing a good job of getting away from pressure and finding the open receiver.
Ball blows off the tee, so Eric Schubert has to reset it. 7-6, the Maulers lead the Philadelphia Stars. I remind you, they trailed at halftime 6-3 in Pittsburgh, the Maulers did. But here they have a chance to go to the locker room with a lead. Mike McCants in deep safety here. And Schubert sends a high kick. McCants 1 yard deep in the end zone to the 10, the 15, the 20, trying to get outside. And he's collared and brought down to the 21-yard line. Craig Walls is a man who ripped him down to the 21. And so that's where Philadelphia will go to work. And so if you've seen company come back on the field here in a 7-6 football game. And the Maulers leading.
And our special teams did a good job. We got an excellent kick from Eric Schubert all the way down to the goal line. And Craig Walls coming down on a special team stopped him right at the 21-yard line. Good special teams by the Maulers the entire first half.
Here they come out of it now. Their center is Bart Oates, George Gilbert, and Chuck Comiskey at the guards. Brad Oates and Irv Eatman the tackles. Eatman, the big All-American out of UCLA. They give it to Kelvin Bryant for about 3 yards. Bryant stretches himself out to the 25-yard line. He falls forward for 3 yards every time.
And that's a sign of a great back. He got hit right around the 21-yard line, came inside, broke a tackle, and lunged up to the 24. And like I said, that's a sign of an excellent back. Rozier does the same thing on our side.
Jack, I mentioned earlier that the weaker teams in the USFL have given Philadelphia enormous difficulty this year. They beat Memphis by a score of 17-9. They beat Washington 17-6, and they only beat San Antonio 20-14. But against the better quality teams in the league, they romp. Here's Fusina with all day. Has a man wide open down the middle. He catches the ball at the 48-yard line. That is another first down, and again it's Kelvin Bryant out of the backfield. And he's beating the linebacker. Mickey Sutton had to make the stop.
That time he got in behind the linebacker. He's coming after they made that big play in the first quarter down to the 30-yard line of the Maulers. Now they're going to Kelvin Bryant out of the backfield. They realize their outside linebackers can't cover him one-on-one. And That time he got down to about the 49-yard line, and Kelvin Bryant is an excellent running back, but he's also an excellent receiver out of the backfield.
Third catch of the game for Bryant. He is second on this club in receptions, or actually third behind Fitzke and Collier. Here's Harvin trying to reverse his field, and Bryant it is, the 45, the 40, and they finally bring him down, but they had him trapped way back in his own end, but he reversed his field and got the first down. A nifty piece of running by Kelvin Bryant.
And our outside linebackers that time, Ron Freeman on the outside, who's replacing Mike McKibben, has got to stay home. He can't over-pursue against a great running back like Kelvin Bryant. He's not going to help plays on the other side of the field. Ron Crosby and those people on that side have to make that play. He's got to stay at home. In case he cuts back against the grain, he's got to be there to turn it back in.
Jerry Holmes made the stop, but not before Bryant picked up another first down at the Maulers' 40-yard line. Here's the give to about the 40-yard line. That was it. Ball carrier Alan Harvin, and he got maybe a yard inside the 40. But they gave Bryant a breather there after two successive nifty plays by the former North Carolina All-American. And last year's MVP in the USFL, Kelvin Bryant.
And Ron Crosby on a blitz on first down had an opportunity to try to make a big play in the backfield. Couldn't make it on Harvin, missed him, tried to tackle him high, missed him, and he got back to the line of scrimmage.
And we've got a timeout on the field as we hit the 2-minute warning with a score: the Maulers 7, the Stars 6. We'll be back.
A division of Frank B. Fuhrer Holdings Incorporated.
During that timeout, it looked like half the Mauler defensive unit came over to the sideline to talk with Joe Herring.
Looked like a lot of the defensive linemen and linebackers are over there. Maybe the secondary, who's played pretty well in his first half, has done a good job. They don't need a little coaching from the sideline, but the whole defensive line and linebackers were over talking to Joe Herring. I think he's a little bit upset.
Second down and 10 now for Fusina. The 2-minute warning. Maulers leading the Philadelphia Stars 7-6. Would you believe it? Fusina with pressure from behind. Now it starts to run, and he's trapped and brought down back at the 44-yard line. David Graham gets credit for the sack. Ike Griffin just missed him. In fact, I think it was Griffin who forced Fusina to step back up in the pocket, and that's where Graham nabbed him.
And whatever Joe Herring told those guys on the sideline, it sure did work, but they came off the football that time. One of the few times they've gotten pressure on Fusina and dropped him for a sack, now back on the 43-yard line.
5.5 sacks on the year now for David Graham. So the Maulers defense playing tough, or attempting to. Third down and 14 for the Philadelphia Stars. At the 44-yard line of Pittsburgh, Fusina back to pass again. Looking downfield, pump fakes, now delivers one downfield, and it is caught at the 10-yard line. And to the 5-yard line, and finally at the 2, they whistle the play dead. And it's David Riley coming out of the backfield again, and the Maulers are getting killed on backside of the backfield, beating the linebackers.
And this time it wasn't the starting linebacker. This time it was Craig Walls, who has one-on-one coverage. Again, David Riley is not the primary receiver, but he has Craig Walls, who's an outstanding athlete, had him beat by 3 or 4 yards. And whatever they've seen in the Mauler defense over the last couple of weeks, they're going after the outside linebackers matched up on a running back, and so far it's been a mismatch.
So the linebackers having their hands full. Otherwise, the Maulers have played extremely well in this half.
And Sam, that was a third down play, third and about 14, and that was a big play for the Stars, and it really might break the back here.
From the 1-yard line, Kelvin Bryant diving, and touchdown Philadelphia. I don't know about that. He had a good second effort, and I guess he got in the second time. He got hit when he went up in the air, but he got the touchdown, so Philadelphia has the lead right back again.
And Sam, it was a big third down play they made for the Holmes, Harper, and Johnson have done an excellent job. It's really the linebackers, the outside linebackers, and Craig Walls, when he's down there on prevent situation, matching up on David Riley, and who David Riley has good speed, but he's not the primary receiver downfield. He's been so open. If you've seen his finds the open receiver and just deliver the football to him.
And I think Philadelphia may go for 2 here. Philadelphia now has taken David Trout off the field, and they have put their offense back on again. So they're going to go for 2. They lead the Maulers 12-7.
This could be to David Riley. Could be a pick play.
And Fusina back to pass, looking in the end zone, throws the ball, and it's intercepted, so the conversion attempt is no good. It was intercepted by Howard McAdoo, a linebacker out of Michigan State, and so the Maulers are able to come up with a big linebacking play there, although they had failed earlier for the touchdown.
And that time it was David Riley circling out of the backfield across the middle. Fusina going back to it again. This time The Maulers made the play, stopped them from getting a 2-point conversion, but really going back to that third down play, which really broke the backs. The Maulers would have had the ball back, leading 7-6, and would probably going into halftime with that score.
While we have a moment here, we invite you to test your sports knowledge in Burger King Sports Trivia Contest. Our question number 7 this week is, of the 4 major golf championships, which one has Arnold Palmer never won? We invite you to register by filling out the back of your Mauler ticket or at any one of the 46 area Burger King restaurants. The prize is a week for 2 at world-class resorts in San Francisco, California. The trip compliments of Travelex and Pan Am, Pittsburgh's Wings to the World. And the winner will be announced at the Monday, June 11th Maulers home game with San Antonio. That at 8 o'clock in the evening.
Sam, what this does to the Mauler defense going into the locker room, they're going to be more conscious of the running backs coming out of the backfield. They're going to try to help the linebackers a little bit more in the second half, knowing they're getting beat by both Bryan and Riley, which might be opening it up for maybe Collier or Scott Fitzke in the second half.
Under 1 minute to play, exactly 59 seconds, as Trout puts the ball on the kicking tee. So the Maulers have time here, and I believe they have 2 timeouts left, Jack, in the half?
I think they have 2, and I doubt if Alan Rainsberger will continue the way he's been in the last couple weeks. He'll probably try to sit on it right here and just go to the locker room down 12-7.
Hollis Payton, who was just signed last week, a rookie running back out of West Virginia State, is in safety along with William Miller and Mickey Sutton, and this kick goes into the end zone, so it's a moot point. It goes out of the field of play. Trout has driven some line drives over the heads of the Maulers deep men. And so the Maulers will begin at their own 20-yard line. The clock, of course, doesn't start until the ball is touched. So the Maulers still with 59 seconds, Jack. And as you have suggested, Rainsberger has been conservative in these situations. And one has to imagine he would be reasonably content to go to the locker room trailing by only 5, although I guess you're never happy to be behind.
There's no question about that. But looking on the sidelines, I'm seeing Joe Herring, the defensive coordinator, talking to Ron Freeman. He's really upset because he really feels his defense has played pretty well. He thought we could go into halftime only leading 7-6, and really the outside linebacker. He's got Walls down there and Freeman. He's talking to both of them right now, and he's talking to them very loudly.
Here's Walter Holman, now the lone setback at the 20-yard line, and the give on a delay to Holman. Cross the 20 to the 25, and he falls forward to about the 26-yard line. So the Maulers will work on the clock here unless they can get some good field position very quickly, and by that I mean break off a big run, and then maybe have a chance to throw the ball downfield. But right now they're content to let the clock run down. 40 seconds to play in the half. Well, this has got to come as a surprise to some people.
Oh, there's no question, but I think the Maulers have played extremely well defensively in the first half. They made a couple mistakes on coverage, which cost them big plays, but by and large, especially the drive that Rosance had.
Here's Holman breaking into the open at the 40-yard line, and he got a first down up around the 43. Sorry to jump on you, Jack, but I thought Holman might have been gone there for a moment.
Well, he did a good job of breaking a tackle right at the line of scrimmage, but with 23 seconds left to go in the half, as soon as they move the sticks up, I think the clock will continue. But right now, the Maulers have called a timeout.
We invite you to stay tuned, of course, at halftime. Tony Giordano will have halftime highlights for you and other information. And then following the ball game, Tony will give a post-game report, and Jack will be in the locker room with his weekly locker room report from the Maulers dressing room.
Well, I'm really impressed, Brian, what Joe Herring is doing. He has every linebacker down there. He's talking to every one of them. He knows he only has 15 minutes in the locker room to talk to everybody. He's got all 4 linebackers down there talking to him right now, going over the mistakes they've made in the first half.
Of course, we're happy again tonight to have along our Maulers radio network affiliates WMMN in Fairmont, West Virginia, WWZE in Central City, WDAD in Indiana, WBVP in Beaver Falls, WHJB Greensburg, WBBW in Youngstown, and WEIR in Weirton, West Virginia. Nice to have you all on our Maulers radio network broadcast. We're at the Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. And we're about 23 seconds away from halftime with the Maulers trailing Philadelphia by a score of 12-7. I doubt if Philadelphia will change anything at halftime, Jack. This is the way they have played all year long, win, lose, or draw. There haven't been many losses or draws on this season for them. And
in the third quarter, in the opening kickoff in the second half, they'll get the football, and this is really where they really take control of a football game. But right now, the Maulers are in it, and I think if they continue to play the way they have in the first half, they got a good opportunity to get an upset.
Rosance back to pass, looking downfield, avoids a rush, dumps it off in the right flat to Holman. about the 45, and he crawled for a couple of yards, but Philadelphia will give that play to them all day long.
Well, they're in a deep zone defense right now. They're a smart defensive football team. No big plays. They don't want any kind of pass interference. And the Maulers have called another timeout with 13 seconds left, but the Stars aren't going to give them anything deep.
Of course, next Monday night, our broadcast will originate from Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh when the San Antonio Gunslingers come to town. That will be a 7:40 start with the coaches show. Pre-game report at 7:50 and the kickoff shortly past 8 o'clock. And so the Maulers playing out the string here on their inaugural season in the USFL, looking, of course, for the real plum here in Philadelphia tonight. Obviously, it won't make their season, but beating the best team in the USFL will give Hank Bull a lot to build on for next year. And then, of course, they can play out the season. San Antonio, as I mentioned, comes to town. Following that, Tampa Bay comes to Pittsburgh, and then they close it out in Jacksonville. So there are some games the Maulers can win there. Certainly they can beat San Antonio. And, of course, Jacksonville is a 4-11 team. They have not exactly had an outstanding inaugural season themselves.
And if Ellis Rainsberg was worried about how well his football team is going to play today, whether they were going to pack it in against the best team in the USFL, they have played extremely well in the first half. The defense has played very well. And that one drive that Tom Rosance engineered for the touchdown was a big drive.
13 seconds to play in the first half. Maulers are out of timeouts, so they'll have to run one long play here, or maybe a sideline pattern, and then time enough for one more. Lone setback is Holman. Rosance back to pass again. Has some pressure from Don Fielder. Steps up in the pocket. Now they're pursuing from behind. Throws it cross field, and it's caught by Anderson at the Philadelphia 40-yard line. And I believe the clock, no, they've got to stop the clock now to move the sticks. He got the first down. So the Maulers, they're rushing Eric Schubert out on the field, will try to attempt the field goal if they can. 3 seconds left. Swider kneels at the 46-yard line. It'll be an attempt to 56 yards by Eric Schubert. They got the stick set. He whistles, the play begins. Here's a snap. Schubert uncorks one. It is long, and it is good! I don't believe it! But a penalty marker is down. Eric Schubert kicked a 56-yard field goal as time expired in the half, but it may all be for naught. There's a penalty flag down.
I see George Cooper pointing back. No, it's good.
Philadelphia, too many men on the field, I believe, and the Maulers will go to the locker room trailing Philadelphia by just 2. What a bizarre circumstance. In the USFL, when you achieve a first down, the clock stops automatically. While they were moving the sticks and stopping the clock, Swider and Schubert and the field goal kicking team came on the field, and when the referee signaled that the clock begins again, the ball was snapped immediately. Swider put it down, and Schubert got it over the crossbar by the skin of his teeth, but nobody will see that in the record book. 56-yard field goal by Schubert. We go to halftime. The Philadelphia Stars 12 and the Pittsburgh Maulers 10. As we move along here in the broadcast, here's his kick to the 2-yard line to start the second half of play. And tackled at the 12-yard line is the ball carrier Harris, and that is where Philadelphia will begin the drive. From their own 12-yard line, good special teams coverage, and again, Jim Perryman downfield to make the tackle. So the Maulers start Philadelphia very deep in their own end, Jack.
And this is usually the big part of the Star football game is their special teams. But our Maulers have done an excellent job covering kicks, getting good field position, and this time stopping on the 13-yard line. A good kick by Eric Schubert down to the goal line was the start of the whole coverage.
That field goal of 56 yards by Schubert is the second longest in the history of the USFL, and the second time this year that somebody has kicked 56 yards. Novo Bojovic, the place kicker for Michigan, had a 56-yarder earlier. Here is a give to Kelvin Bryant for about 2 yards up the middle. The longest field goal in the short history of this league was 57 yards by Jim Asmus of Arizona last year against Los Angeles. So by 1 yard, Eric Schubert missed tying the USFL record for the longest field goal. But he has brought the Maulers to within 2 of the Philadelphia Stars, who have won 11 straight, 13-1 this year, 28 of 32 in their regular season history. What an amazing football team they've been.
They've been a consistent football team both seasons. They got upset last year by Michigan in the playoffs.
2nd down and 8. Fusina now on a pitch to Kelvin Bryant. And he is hit at the line of scrimmage and knocked down by Mickey Sutton. And Sutton really came to all of our attention in that New Jersey game when he had 14 unassisted tackles and 3 assists and played his heart out. And he's an amazing football player, Jack, at 5'9", 170 pounds, and he's playing strong safety.
And that was excellent defense by the Maulers. That time, Ron Crosby had the containment. His job was to contain Kelvin Bryant, make him turn back inside. Mickey Sutton had the cutback area, the area inside of Ron Crosby. He made the play. Mickey Sutton is playing outstanding football.
Here's some good news. Sam Clancy is in on 3rd down. So number 77 is back in the lineup, maybe just on passing situations, but he is back nonetheless. 3rd down and 8. And no, Griffin got free in the middle for a moment, and the pass is broken up. It is knocked down by Craig Walls and also Mickey Sutton. And I think Sutton is a little disgusted he didn't catch the ball. He thought he had a chance for an intercept.
Excellent zone defense by the Maulers that time on 3rd down and long. Mickey Sutton breaking on the football from the inside, Walls from the outside. They just really drilled the receiver and stripped him of the football. Big series for the Maulers, stopping on 3 downs.
First punt of the night for Sean Landetta, who is the #1 kicker in the Eastern Conference, and a fair catch by the Maulers at the Philadelphia 46-yard line. Mark Harper running up on a short kick by Landetta. Only 30 yards, and so he was a little bit stale, having not kicked at all in the first half. And the Maulers begin their first series of the second half at the Philadelphia 46. So we'll take a break and return to the Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia right after this. Maulers now huddling up back at the 45-yard line of Pittsburgh, and when they put the ball in play, Jack, they will begin with their best field position of the night.
And Mark Harper did an excellent job of catching that punt. It was a short punt. He came up, called for a fair catch, did not let the ball hit the ground. If it did, he may have gained 20 yards on the punt. He caught it, and it's good field position for the Maulers.
Flowers is wide to the right and Greg Anderson to the left. I formation with Rozier and Ira Albright in the backfield. And now Flowers comes in motion to the near side. And fumbled by Rosance, and Rozier wisely fell on the ball back at the 48-yard line. Rosance bobbled the snap, and Rozier, instead of trying to pick it up and run with it, fell on the football, and the Maulers glad to take the loss and keep the ball.
I think Tom Rosance a little bit anxious coming here at the beginning of the 3rd quarter, pulled out a little bit early from the center and just bobbled the football, and an alert Mike Rozier, instead of trying to pick it up, just fell on it. You're right, Sammy. Smart play by Rozier.
So the Maulers lose on the exchange 2 yards. It is 2nd down and 12. And now Flowers goes wide to the right. All that running in motion for Flowers for naught. Didn't even get a chance to run the play, or at least his pattern. Here's Anderson to the left. And Rosance, play action, fakes the give to Rozier, rolling to his right. Ran out of real estate and threw the ball downfield, and it is out of bounds. It was tipped along the sideline and is incomplete. Rosance, I don't know if that play was designed to set up the way it was designed, but Rosance got to the sideline in a hurry and really ran out of room to throw the ball.
Well, he was getting too much pressure, and Mike Lush down around the 20-yard line almost picked that football off. Looked like he was going up for the ball, would have caught the interception, but what we're trying to do is design rollout, but we're getting too much pressure from the defensive end, making Tom Rosance drift a little bit, and he can't find the open receiver downfield.
Burris is the center. Corbin and Hickman the guards. Dubiago and Don Maggs the tackles. Al Kimachik the tight end to start the second half. And again, the same receivers. Anderson and Flowers split left and right respectively, and the Stars look like they're going to blitz. Here's a reverse. Rosance gives a block. Flowers trying to get open. 50, 45, still on his feet, and stumbles out of bounds at the 40-yard line. He had to go very deep for that reverse, Jack, and I think it probably cost the Maulers the play. In concept, it was fine, but Garcia Lane got over to knock him out of bounds and make the tackle secure at about the 40. So the Maulers come up 4 yards shy of the first down. It'll be 4th down now and about 4.
And George Cooper, the linebacker they ran the reverse on before, got upfield a little bit more, made Jackie Flowers belly a little bit further upfield, and now they're going to have to punt the football away.
So Larry Swider will come on and try to hem Philadelphia up in their own end. The Stars now just getting their punt return team on the field. Not quite sure what the Maulers would do.
Isn't that within Schubert's range right there?
You got it, Hammer. Harvin in single safety. Swider trying to knock one out of bounds, and it does. It goes out inside the 10-yard line. So Swider, for one of the rare instances in this season, really tried to knock that out of bounds, and he did. He's not the kind of punter who does that. So the Maulers pin the Stars up at their own 10-yard line. We'll be back right after this. Offense of the Philadelphia Stars now on the field under the guidance of Cena, the McKees Rocks native, former Penn State All-American, great young man, having an outstanding year again for Philadelphia as he did last year, but finding the going a little bit tougher against Pittsburgh. And I'm wondering if Philadelphia may have lost the edge in this ball game, pointing to a Friday night encounter that they got coming up. May have overlooked the Maulers. After all, they came into this game 3-11, Jack, but they have played very well, have the Maulers. Here's a give to Bryant, and he loses 2 yards. He was stacked up just as he got the ball. Ike Griffin was there almost at the time that Fusina handed the ball off.
Ike Griffin getting good penetration in the backfield. He made a big sack in the first half. Got good penetration inside, coming upfield, and really made Calvin Bryant go the other direction. And our defense in the first series played well, and right now in the first play in this series, they're playing exceptionally well.
You'd never know the Maulers were 17-point underdogs. I'll tell you that. They trailed 12-10. Early moments, third quarter. Philadelphia backed up now at their 8-yard line. Here's Bryant across the 10 to the 13, and the Maulers playing the run very well. Crosby made the stop. Jesse Johnson was there. In fact, there were 5 or 6 white-shirted Maulers around the football. So it'll be third down and about 7 now for Philadelphia. And they stay on the ground deep in their own end.
It looks like Sam Clancy might be coming in the game on third down situation just for the pass rushing. They're not going to use him on first and second down. They'll use him here on third down and save him that way.
So here comes Clancy in the game. And getting out is the big tackle, Archie Reese. From the 13-yard line. Fusina now with a slot to the left. And his favorite receiver, Scott Fitzke, out to the right. At least against the Maulers, he's been number 1. Oh, and he sacked it. He fumbles the ball. And they ruled
Clancy
he delivered the ball.
Oh.
They ruled that he had his arm in motion. He got smacked hard in the backfield, lost the ball. The Maulers covered it at the 2-yard line. But they're ruling that Fusina's arm was in motion, and there is an injured Mauler on the field, Jack.
And there's an injured Fusina down on the field as well, and both trainers from the Stars come out. And excellent hit that time coming from the right end was Doug Holly. Doug Holly beat his man upfield and made the play. Sam Clancy gets the football. It's a tough call by the official. It looks like he really brought the ball down, and they called it an incomplete pass. But Chuck Fusina is down on the ground right now and talking to their PR people before the game today. That's one person they can't lose. But it looks like Chuck's up on his feet right now.
Fusina is the first one up. It looked to me as if Griffin kicked Holly in the head. It just as Holly was racing for the loose football. I think Ike may have kicked Doug Holly in the head, and now Holly being helped to his feet. No, he's holding his shoulder. But he gets credit for having knocked the ball loose, and they say that Fusina was in the motion of delivering the ball, so it goes simply as an incompleted pass and brings around 4th down. And now Sean Landeta, number 1 punter in the USFL, will be kicking this one from his own goal line.
And Sam, we're going to get excellent field position again if Mark Harper can catch his football and maybe get it upfield a little bit for the second time in a row. Maybe we can take advantage of this time and take the lead from the Stars.
Landeta right at his goal line. And Harper is awaiting the punt at his own 45. Last time he ran up 10 yards and Fair caught the ball. And here's the kick by Landeta. This is a beauty. High spiral, great hang time. Harper Fair catches the ball for 38 and he's knocked down. He is knocked down, and there's a penalty flag. He signaled for the fair catch, and somebody, I believe the wide receiver Harris, ran into him. 50 yards on the punt, but there'll be 15 of it going back upfield for the Maulers, I do believe.
And you don't see the Stars make this kind of mistake on special teams. He called for the fair catch, and now we're going to probably get another 10 or 15 yards for a personal foul, and we'll finally get back in the excellent field position after that unbelievable punt down around about the 38-yard line.
Personal foul against Philadelphia, and it's being stepped off from the point of the infraction, the 37-yard line. It'll carry the ball into Philadelphia territory, and they'll spot it at the 47-yard line.
Unnecessary roughness, number 20 on the kicking team. That's a first down.
And that would be the first man downfield, who was Mark McCants. And the Maulers now with the excellent field position you were talking about, even though Landeta got off an outstanding punt.
And usually the Stars are the people that make the big plays on special teams. Right now, the Maulers have done it the entire first half. Now we got good field position at the 47.
12-10, Philadelphia in the lead on a quick count to Walter Holman on a dive play off his own guard inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. Our big play sweepstakes contestant this quarter is Alfred Costanza of Charleroi, Pennsylvania. We're rooting for you, Alfred. The Maulers trying to hit on a big play here to wrestle the lead away from Philadelphia. They trail by only 2. We are under the 9-minute mark left in the third quarter.
And Ira Albright's in the game right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see him go in motion to our side here, to his left, and give the football to Rozier and try to come off his block.
Second down, Maulers, and about 6. Rosance on a pitch to Rozier behind Ira Albright. Puts the ball away, tucks it up along the sideline inside the 40, the 39, and he'll be about 2 yards shy of the first down. So Mike Rozier with a run to the outside for 4 behind big Ira Albright, who has just performed so admirably as a converted defensive tackle to blocking back.
And talking to him last week in the locker room, in the locker room show, he was hoping they might put a play action pass in because he's worked on his hands catching the football out of the backfield, and he would just love to get a hold of that football. And I'm sure too many defensive backs would try to bring down a 260-pound fullback.
Yeah, but I don't think that Ira's hands are to be mistaken with butter. They are not exact. And now the Maulers, I believe, are calling a timeout here. Rosance couldn't get together on the play, so the Maulers spend a timeout with 8:11 to play in the third quarter, and we'll take a break from the Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia with the Maulers trailing Philadelphia 12-10.
Welcome.
We go again. The Maulers now have decided what play on 3rd down and 2. I formation, Albright in motion to give to Rozier against the grain, and he got the first down, I believe. He hurdled his way to about the 37-yard line. It all depends on the placement. I think the official immediately signals first down. So that time they sent Rozier in motion Albright in motion to the left, but Rozier went straight up the middle, Jack.
Well, that time they run the play so many times with him in motion going to the outside. This time I think what Mike Rozier is trying to find just that 2 or 3 yards for that first down. He saw the opening inside and took it, and really used Ira Albright really as a decoy that time, and the defense kind of overshifted a little bit that way.
Nose of the football touching the Philadelphia 36-yard line. The Maulers trailing Philadelphia 12-10. Why do I keep confusing the score? It's not really hard. Sam, get in the game. Rosance pumps and delivers the ball out of bounds. Well, he waited for his receiver, Walter Holman, to clear, and by the time he did, Rosance ran out of yardage, and Holman had half his body out of bounds, I think. So it was a badly conceived play almost from the go.
And Buddy Moore is doing a good job of coming off the line of scrimmage and putting pressure on Tom Rosance on that design rollout. It's very difficult to try to throw the football backpedaling the way Tom Rosance has been doing because he's getting pressure off the corner from the defensive end.
Maulers now with a 2nd down and 10. The clock stopped with 7:26 to play here in the third quarter. Jackie Flowers goes wide to the right and Greg Anderson to the left. Holman, the up back, in front of Mike Rozier. Ira Albright resting in Rosance play action. Here's the blitz. And they're all after Rosance. He can run with the ball. He throws it downfield on the run, and it is incomplete. And a penalty marker, interference against Philadelphia. And I believe it's Garcia Lane. Garcia Lane, the cornerback, the rookie out of Ohio State, just whacked into Anderson along the sideline at about the 20-yard line. And that will be a Pittsburgh Mauler first down after they walk off the 15 yards for interference.
And give Tom Rosance all the credit in the world. He's the guy that got away from an all-out blitz. And Garcia Lane coming over the top of Greg Anderson, and the official was right there through the flag. Big play for the Maulers.
We have just been informed that Doug Holly injured his right shoulder, as I indicated, on the near sack, if you've seen, the back of the goal line, and he is now going to have it x-rayed. So they continue to get banged up, but they're hanging tough tonight in Philadelphia. Here's the 15-yard walk-off, interference in the USFL, 15 yards, and here's your referee.
Pass interference, defense, penalties decline, personal foul, head slap, number 23 on the defense. That's a first down.
Yeah, it wouldn't make any difference which one they assessed, Jack.
Well,
they were two-time losers on that Philadelphia.
Well, they called a head slap on number 23. It was an all-out blitz going after Tom Rosance, and Antonio Gibson coming on the blitz really just pushed Tom Rosance, and that's not really we got the ball down at 21-yard line. That's all I care about.
That's the bottom line. Ira Albright, the up back. First down again. The Maulers threatening to take the lead. Rozier trying to squirm his way for a couple of yards, and that's all he gets to the 19-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 8, so the Maulers trying to stay on the ground here. Certainly they don't want to give up the 3, which would give them the lead, but boy, would they love to push another one into the end zone and really get Philadelphia thinking. You're talking about the second-best defense in the USFL, averaging less than 12 points, giving up a game.
And I think right now what we've got Tom Rosance doing, what he's doing best, He's getting away from that pressure up the middle. He's biding his time on the outside and finding big plays down to Flowers before and Greg Anderson this time.
Maulers continue to work on the clock. We're under 6.5 minutes. Here's a pitch to Rozier. Albright with a lead block, but there's not much there. Flag goes down. Rozier goes down at the 19-yard line. There are 1, 2, 3 flags down at the same point. I guess everybody saw that infraction. Ira may have had his hands on somebody, Jack, and this will cost the Maulers. And there's an injured Philadelphia star down.
We'll check on the injury, but Ira Albright this time coming out of the backfield, and John Bunting, a smart linebacker, came up and played him off with his hands. I think Ira Albright went down towards his ankles and really tackled him, and flags came out of everywhere. I think they made the correct call.
The injured player, by the way, is Dave Ofer, the second-year nose tackle out of Penn State, 6'4", 250, and he is nose down into the AstroTurf right at the 20-yard line. Now they stretch him out and lay him flat on his back.
Well, he comes in quite a few times for Pete Kugler, because Pete Kugler gets tired in the third, fourth quarter.
Number 31 on the offense. Second down.
Well, that was fairly obvious, I guess, huh? When Ira has a violation, it is flagrant.
Well, he had 3 flags on top of his back, and I think there was no doubt about it. He was the guy that really tackled John Bunting. But give credit to the old crafty linebacker Bunting. He didn't take on Ira Albright. He knows he's too physical for him.
He wrestled him to the ground.
He played him off with his hands, and finally Ira Albright had to tackle him. And Ira Albright went to make his block anyway out there, and that time Bunting had the best of him.
So there's still a timeout on the field, and the whole Mauler offense has come off the field to the sideline again. We've seen this happen before. While there is a injury timeout on the field, Ofer being attended to. Jack, what's Ellis calling the whole offensive unit over for?
Well, he may be telling him right now, this game is yours if you want to take it. You've got an opportunity, and you've been moving the football against the Stars the entire game. You got the ball down on the 30-yard line. You got an opportunity to put some points on the board. I think he's giving that whole offense, from the offensive line and running backs and wide receivers, giving him a little pep talk down there.
They are still down on the sideline right in front of head coach Ellis Rainsberger, as Ofer is assisted to the sideline and being carried, in fact, to the bench.
You know, if Chuck Noll would have done this when I was playing, call our whole defense to the side, I'd have thought probably going to fire us. But I don't know. That's really unusual to see a team do that. And the Maulers have done that a few times this season, and hopefully it'll have a good effect on the offense. They'll go in and score.
Well, when play is resumed here, the Maulers will have a 2nd down and 18 following the holding penalty against Ira Albright. The line of scrimmage now the 29-yard line, and William Miller comes into the game. So the Maulers with their best receiver out of the backfield in William Miller. Al Kimachik, the tight end. They got Flowers and Anderson as the receivers. And Rosance now having taken all of his offensive teammates over to meet his head coach. Maybe they're just introducing everybody around. Is that possible? No.
Well, they may bring William Miller in here. There may be a quick trap, thinking pass on 2nd down and long. He may try to put William Miller in a quick trap inside, but he's lined up on the outside right now. It looks like he's going to run a route out of the backfield.
Here's a slot to the left. Donnie Hickman stood up and pointed something out to Tom Rosance in the defense immediately. So the veterans trying to help out the young quarterback, Rosance. They all come on the blitz. Rosance gets outside the pressure. Looking downfield. Throws the ball down the field. It is tipped away. Touchdown! Jackie Flowers. What a great catch. I thought somebody had gotten a hand on it. The defender was Jonathan Sutton, but Flowers put that ball away so quickly it disappeared from my eyes.
Jackie Flowers did an excellent job of not putting his hands up right away. Jonathan Sutton had excellent coverage. The Stars had an all-out blitz, but Tom Rosance, with his quickness, gets outside of the containment and delivers the football. And Jackie Flowers doesn't look up to the last second, so that the defender can't put his hands up, and he catches the ball for a touchdown.
And the Maulers now trying to press their lead even higher. Here's the extra point attempt by Schubert. It is up and good. And with exactly 6:21 to play third quarter, the Maulers lead the Philadelphia Stars 17-12. We'll be back. For station identification, this is the Pittsburgh Maulers Radio Network.
This is WAMO FM Pittsburgh.
So the Maulers drive at 47 yards, get the 29-yard touchdown pass to Jackie Flowers, and here come the Stars following the kick by Schubert. It's McCants to the 15, and he's driven back. As he reached the 17-yard line, it was knocked down by Jim Perryman, who continues to play outstandingly on the special teams.
Jim Perryman has made big plays time and time again covering kickstander. He's the guy going to the ball all the time. He and Craig Walls made that play down around the 17-yard line, but in a lot of the drives the Maulers have had in this whole football game, give Tom Roseanne's credit because of his quickness, getting outside the containment, biding extra time, and he's made a number of big plays to keep drives alive today, and that's why the Maulers are ahead 17-12.
In their 3 possessions here in the second half, Philadelphia has started its drives at the 18, the 10, and now the 17-yard line, all in Philly territory. Here's a screen pass for Kelvin Bryant. A flag goes down as Bryant goes down right at the line of scrimmage. An excellent play by Ron Freeman, who has been fooled by Bryant a few times, but not on that one. And I think we have a holding against Philadelphia to compound their problems. This crowd in stunned disbelief. Not only are the Stars trailing for one of the rare times in their nearly 2-year history, at home yet, where they're undefeated this year, 6-0, but they don't show any semblance of any order.
No, and Brad Oates that time is going to get called for a hold, and he absolutely pulled down one of the Maulers, and it's a big decision right now because it was a no gain, and what the Maulers are going to do, whether to accept the penalty or just take it down.
Well, he started to walk it off, and now they hold it right at the line of scrimmage. I guess he just went after the flag. No, they're going to take the yardage, which is half the distance to the goal line, and back to Philadelphia is about their 8-yard line, Jack. So it'll be first down and 18.
Holding number 70 on the offense, a takedown, first down.
That is Brad Oates indeed, the 8-year veteran out of BYU, whose brother Bart Oates is the center.
And you got to give Ike Griffin a lot of credit. He's playing outstanding defensive end position. He came off that football, and he beat Brad Oates up the field. Brad Oates had nothing to do. He didn't want to get Fusina hurt again, and really pulled him down for the penalty.
Griffin, Reese, Troy Thomas, David Graham along the front, Kelvin Bryant wedging out about 3 yards, and that is it. Well, the Maulers are making it tough for that big offensive line to open up any holes. They have really played them head-to-head, very tough along the front line. And the Maulers' defensive line, which has not gotten the kind of penetration during the course of the year and during stages of this game, have made some of the key plays, however.
And without Sam Clancy in the lineup, that defensive line is, particularly his third quarter, has done an excellent job. 2nd
and 15. Fusina back to his 5-yard line. Arches a long pass downfield. It's knocked away. A great defensive play by Mark Harper, who dived in front of the intended receiver, Harris, up around the 45-yard line. So it's 3rd down and 15, Philadelphia, and the Maulers' defense just continues to play outstanding defense in the secondary.
And give Mark Harper all the credit in the world. He's expecting help in the middle by Troy Thomas. Troy Thomas never got there, helping him out on Harris, but Mark Harper had excellent position, and he drove on the football and broke it up. He didn't get the help he thought he was going to get, but he had excellent position.
Clancy in now on 3rd down, 3rd and 15. Sam used sparingly now with the ankle injury. Just rushing the passer on 3rd and long. Craig Walls faking the blitz. Fusina, a little bit of pressure. And he arches a pass over the middle. It's caught at the 38. A great catch. What an outstanding catch by Scott Fitzke, who reached up with one hand to bring it in. Just shy of the 40-yard line, a first down, and I think he beat double coverage. Did he not, Jack?
That time he beat Troy Hill again. And there's also a flag that's been thrown. I'll have to check on the flag, but Troy Hill that time lined up at the corner position on a nickel back situation and just let the man beat him up over the top. He didn't. Once Fitzke beats him up the field, he's got to run with him, make sure that he before he gets help from the safety, that he has some coverage. That time he had no coverage at all, had him beat by 3 or 4 yards.
26 yards on the completed pass, and the referee, Bill Parkinson, now talking about a penalty. It would appear, if it's assessed at all, it'll be against Pittsburgh, because they have not even made any indication of bringing it back. Here he is. Nope, it's against Philadelphia. I never heard it. I don't know if he even spoke.
It must be a dead ball foul, but Scott Fitzke made an excellent adjustment on the football. The ball was not thrown over his shoulder the way he was running. He turned back and made a good adjustment on the ball, caught it, and it must be a dead ball foul. Still a first down.
Yes, it is. They are walking it off from where Fitzke was tackled at the 39-yard line, and they are walking off a 15-yard penalty back to the 24. Now let's hear the referee. Speak, Bill. You're on.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 81 on the offense. It's first down and 25.
I didn't see Fitzke do anything other than get up and try to run with the football again.
He might have spiked the football, which may be one thing which you would call an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, but I couldn't see it from here. I just saw him make an excellent catch right around the 38-yard line, and now they brought it back, and a big break for the Maulers.
What did you say earlier? Who cares? The bottom line is that Philly's walking backward, right? They've got 6 penalties now for 69 yards. So Philadelphia pulling a self-destructing act, one that we grew accustomed to during the course of the year on the part of the Maulers, who so often, when they were competitive in a game, made a fatal mistake. Personal foul or an offside or an interference. But tonight they have gotten their act together, playing the best game of the year all around, and particularly in light of the injuries. And it's Philadelphia making the mistakes.
And people like Ike Griffin doing an excellent job out there, getting off the football, making big plays. Sam Clancy coming in on 3rd down. We got an opportunity to stop him over here. 1st down.
Here's the 1st down for Philadelphia at their own 24. And if you've seen it, dropping to pass. Some pressure again. Archie Reese has him around the ankle. Down he goes. And there's a flag down at the 12-yard line.
Sam, I think we'll decline this penalty. It's another holding penalty, but our defensive line is doing an excellent job of coming off the football. And I think another Mauler is down on the ground.
Ike Griffin is a man who finally put Fusina on the ground, and Archie Reese is being dragged up by the shoulder pads by Jesse Johnson. He got up very, very slowly.
Holding. But number 63 on the offense. The penalty is declined.
That's George Gilbert, offensive guard. And as you indicate, Jack, the Maulers elect to take the sack and not the penalty.
And they've got right now a 2nd down and about 2 miles right now. And if the Maulers just play good, sound defense, zone defense in the secondary, I think they'll make the Stars punt the football.
Philadelphia now, 2nd down and 37. Don't forget, the original chain is up at the 39-yard line. They got to get to their own 49 for a 1st down. And Fusina pops one over the middle of the 27 and immediately knocked down with Scott Fitzke as Mickey Sutton put a shoulder pad in him and drove him into the ground.
And the Maulers are doing a good job of playing that zone defense, giving the underneath route where they don't want to give that big play down to the midfield, which will give the Philadelphia a 1st down. That time they got the ball at the 28-yard line. Mickey Sutton coming in that zone defense really popped Scott Fitzke, and he almost gave up the football.
You know, in our pregame conversation, Jack and I visited the Philadelphia radio team of Vince Papale and Harry